Hello, my name is Akash Patil and my registration number is 20MC1007. I am from VIT College, Vellore Institute of Technology, Chennai. This is my project. My project name is College Management System. This project I have done in the subject programming in C Sharp. This project I have done using Visual Studio and as a backend I have used SQL Server. And here as you can see this is my YouTube channel link AP Archives. That's the name of my channel. So moving on, this is the basic outline structure of my project. So abstract. So basically what it is college management system. So basically I have tried to make a simple desktop application developed using C language. This the project's basic concept is managing students record, teachers record, student details, student information, teacher detail, teacher information, teacher timetable, and many other features. So basically, it's a college management system fully packed with student handling, teacher handling, class handling, courses handling, and even adding semesters and also adding new users and employees. So, uh, to summarize this point, basically, I have many models like login, logout registration, managing semesters, fee structures, students, admission, students record, to remove student, manage courses, manage teachers, maintaining teacher attendance, and also I have added a feature for backup and restore database. So what that does is basically you're doing all the work and what if your project cracks or you lose the project. So basically I have made a feature backup and restore. So basically after every transaction or every changes you made you can back up your project and restore it using any database, any SQL database. So diagram, so this is use case diagram. Admin can add a course, add teacher, add student, search a student, add fees, delete a student, manage course or teachers, or add user login or change password. So basically admin has all the rights to add a user, add teacher, basically managing everything. Only admin has those right. So moving on, second diagram is activity diagram. So as you can see, it's similar to the use case diagram only. So basically, admin login first authentication happens if the password is correct and username. So basically, he can manipulate courses, teachers, students, login users. He can add fees, delete students, such students, manage teachers, courses, and then log out. So this is the basic flow. And here is the ERD diagram of my project. So basically, here is admin entity, student entity, teacher entity, and course entity, which basically have these attributes. Like this is admin ID, name, login, password. Basically, database I have used this. So as you can see, it's underlined. I also have tried to make it look more visible by coloring it different. So these are basically primary keys which are underlined. So admin and courses have one-to-many relationship, and so this is CID, CNAME, fees, duration. This is teacher, TID, TNAME, education, courses. So basically these are all the attributes, and the student and course have many to one relationship. Like many students can register for a single course, and teacher and course have single relationship, like one teacher can teach one course. So basically this is the structure, and student has the attribute of personal details, fees detail, educational details. So moving on, so data flow diagram, DFD diagram. So this is context level diagram. So admin request for login in the student management system response. So first level admin side TFT. So admin has the right to log in, add course, add teacher, add student, search report, and other admin activity like managing students and admin users. So as you can see, the structure is like two rectangle blocks. So this means this is the database table. This structure means data source. So basically, for course, it's for course data source. For teacher is teacher data source. Student, and for report student. And for admin activity, to manipulate student and admin users, student and admin data source. So as you can see, the flow is like admin request for login, checks for login, and the data source replies. So same is for other also. You can see the workflow by the arrows. Admin try to add student, insert data, then student data source replies as successfully added or not. Like that, same for teacher and same for the course. So moving on, second level DFT on the admin side. So basically this is in more depth. So admin login, add student. So in the what details are in, like add fees, update fees, edit student detail, update student detail. These are all the features of second level DFT of admin side. So moving along, then you can add and delete the user, delete teacher, delete course, delete student, login. Basically the same data structure. Just what we did here is first we inserted the data and got the feedback. Here also we updated the fees and data of the student details. So here is update, here is insert, and then here is delete. So basically we have done all the data manipulation techniques, and I have tried to describe it using the DFT diagrams. So now system development. So what do you need? So basically you can use any database, but I have what my system configuration was. I have used front-end design. As for coding, I have used Visual Studio 2019, which is the latest edition, free edition. And for backend, I'm using my Microsoft SQL Server 2008, and or you can use 12 also. So the coding language is C sharp, and the other main requirement is you need dot framework to work with the SQL database. It's actually comes within the Visual Studio installation, but if not required, you can install it later also. So hardware resource used is my current operating system is Windows 10 and processor is AMD 6, and my RAM is 4 GB. So these are some references. Like I to make this project, I studied about the database connectivity and everything from this website csharpcorner.com, and for our diagrams and tool I use this site, which are free to use, and you can make excellent diagrams like this at free of cost. Like basically I have paid nothing for these diagrams. So these are the sites for that diagrams, and I have watched tutorials on YouTube and Google. So that was my project. Thank you for listening to this PPT. Now let's move on to demo. So hello again guys. This is basically my Visual Studio 2019, and this is my main page of my project, college management system. So you might be wondering, how did I add these icons and how did I add this image here? So basically this is nothing but a menu strip where you can add anything like text box, combo box, or even a menu item. So what is a menu item? Like you have seen in any taskbar, like you can see it here, like file. If I click here file, then these options are there: new, open, edit, view. So basically that's the same thing here. You can add options here. So to give you an demo, I'll show you by adding an item. So if I click here, I can add a menu item, and basically these are the options. Like suppose I'll add here cut, copy, paste, like that, and I'll just write here file. So as you can see, it looks normal and dull. So that's why, to make the project more attractive and engaging and user friendly, I added these icons. So how do you get these icons? Basically these are by default packages in Visual Studio. Just to access this icon, you just need to click here. I have changed the settings to image and text. So basically this file would be loaded here. Like I'll show you by adding the image. So basically as you can see, the property is set to none. So I'll add an image. Basically you can also import your local images which are directly you can download any image from the internet and import them. But as I have downloaded the resource by default package, I'll access here. So basically, for example, let's add this image. So as you can see, the image is like too small, and basically it looks quite dull. As you can see, our menu is created, but this doesn't look good. So basically what we need to do is we need to set a property here like test alignment. You just need to select image above, and here you need to select none. So basically, as you can see, we have successfully added a menu item, and these are the options which we inserted. So basically, that's how easy it is. So I'll just delete it. And you, if you're wondering like how did I add this background image to the form, so basically just click on the form, and this didn't came from any package. I'll show you how to import. So basically this is the folder which I have many college pictures. So I'll load this image. Okay, and then to resize it, you can resize from background image layout. So you can see as I change, it changes here too. So now let's change it back to the way it was. So here it is. So now let's run the project and see each functionality in detail. So basically now what's happening is the project is starting to build up. It's loading all the modules. It might take more time varying system to system properties. Like I have 4 GB RAM and I have also screen recording and many things going on. That's why it's taking so much time. So basically to give you in more depth idea, I've also added a main feature here. And as you can see, the main feature is basically backup and resource restore system. Many Visual Basic Studio programs don't have that facility. Like for example, what if you lose the data or accidentally format the drive? How will you access the records and everything? So as you can see, the loading was there. You could see the full image, and now this is the main interface. So I'll first access this system by using admin right access. So as you have seen in my presentation also, admin basically have all the rights to edit and manipulate everything in the project. So the username admin login. So if login is successful, you can see here the role is admin, username administrator, and let's move on to the first option. So basically here you can log off from here, change your password or exit from the system. So if I click log off, basically it will return to the login screen. So let's log in again. Now I have logged in again. So now let's create an user. So basically as you can see, I have two user already. This is a normal user as you can see in the role, and one is the admin. So basically these are the two users here. So let's add a new user. So I'll give the username as John. Login name also would be John. Password I'll type as 1234 1234. Now here as you can see there are two roles available. So I can give him admin rights or user rights. So I'll give him as user rights. So is it active user? You can also disable the user or update or delete. So I'll just save the user for now. As you can see, as we type the password as 123, it displays the message as password length is too short. So basic minimum required password length is 8. So I'll add the password now. And as you can see, I have written the incorrect password here, and as you can see, it it explicitly called the error, it triggered the error message. So now let's write a normal password and now save the user. So as you can see, new user created successfully. So here is the John, login name also John, user role, and yes, he's active. And as you can see, I can update, delete and close, as currently I am admin. But the thing is, I can't see anyone's password or anything. I can just manipulate with the user. I can delete and update his name or record. That's it. So moving on, you could add as many semester as you want. So these are basically auto-generated integer list. It goes on. So if I add here 9 or 8 or 7, like that, it would be auto-generated. So basically, if I click here, it will auto-generate the 9. But as many colleges have maximum number as 8, so basically I'll just add another semester here, so 8. So this was the final semester and I have added that. So now course detail. So how to add a course? For example, I'll add MCA course. Now how many semester MCA courses? It's basically 2 year program somewhere and 3 years program. So basically let's create 2 years program which would have 4 years of semesters. So I'll save. As you can see, MCA is created. I've also tried many times adding some other courses with respect to other numbers. So basically I also tried with MCA with 1 semester, 2 semester, 4 semesters. And also to show you, I could also delete the course. As you can see, I could delete the course. So basically why I didn't this delete was because there was nothing registered with this course, and basically it was uh, nully created. That's why it was showing the error. So as you can see, we have successfully deleted the course, as you can see. So now to add a course, I'll just create another course named as BCA. So as you can see, I have successfully added the course BCA. Now this is basic college fee. Like we have other facilities rather than study basis. Like for example, we have library, sport, lab, tuition fees, basic fee structure of any college, which would include sports equipment or any facility which would be used, or deposit money. We can deduct it here. So basically, I can add any category. For example, uh, let's take internet fees or uh, cyber cafe access fees. So basically, I'll add here amount saved successfully, and as you can see, the cyber cafe fees has included here. So this is basic fee structure of the college, and I could update or delete like any normal data manipulation. Yes, we would like to delete the cyber cafe, and as you can see, it has been deleted. So let's now take a look at student admission or enrollment. So student admission, we can also view the records Like I have created a few records here, and as you can see, as I click here, the information of the students automatically comes here. So basic details like roll number, gender, date of birth, admission, country, which course selected, how many semester course, which batch you want, morning batch or evening batch, same like the system in VIT itself. So now I would show you by adding a student or two students. So roll number I'll give as 20MC107, or my roll number is 1007. So I'll type in there, and let's add one person named as Joey. It will be Annie. Gender male. Address suppose New York. So date of birth I'll mention it as 01, and as you can see, if I misplace the format, it shows that a valid format should be inserted like date, month, year. So month I could add, so enrollment date, so I'll mention the date. His phone number could be anything. So basic details, email ID joey@gmail.com, country USA, course we have created BCA and MC right now. Let's select BCA, shift morning, semester 4, and now we could also upload images. So basically any college system has an image, need the image. So here is Joey. So as you can see, the image is aligned perfectly and we can clearly see his face. So now we filled all the details, so we'll save the student. Saved successfully. Now you can also access Joey. So let's add another student, 1008 maybe. Student name Eva. uh, Country will type in like Pune. Date of birth 09/08/2000 suppose. Admission date, I'll put in today's date. Phone number, email Eva from Wally gmail.com, country India, course this time we could select MCA and evening batch for her, and then 4 semesters. So photo, as you can see, the photo alignment is perfectly aligned here. So we'll save the details, and the phone number showed an error as I have inserted 9 digits. Saved successfully. So as you can see, Eva is also added here. Like this we can add multiple students. So here is the attendance system, here is the fee structure. So basically now we'll see like if the teacher submits the uh, attendance sheet to the admin side, so how we can access the attendance. So basically we remember like for BCA it will show which student has registered. So here is Joey Tribbiani. So as you can see, the enrollment date is here. Basically, it's not the enrollment date, it's today's date, and we can change the date assuming which day we want to put his attendance as absent or present. So basically, suppose today was his day, first day, and he was present. So basically, I add here. So here in the record, it would be like attendance date 4/6/2021, and he was present. Roll number, student name, semester, as well as course. So now, oh yeah, we added one more student. So let's give mark her as absent. So basically, on her first day, so as you can see, there isn't showing Eva, as we haven't created like MC for 4 semesters. As you can see here in course details, we actually deleted the MC of 4 semesters. So that's why the record isn't showing Eva. So basically, what we can do is we can go in student administration and we can just change the detail of Eva. So MCA first semester update. So update was successful. So we'll close it and now we'll check in the attendance. So MCA semester 1. Now as you can see the records are displaying. So basically Eva was absent on her first day. So as you can see the record is added and she is absent. So now moving along, you can see all the attendance history here by roll number or student name. So basically let's try with both. We know the roll number of Joy Tribbiani. We know the roll number of Eva. As you can see the record is updated. Eva was absent here, and as you can see it shows the timing of all the dates. As you can see Bhanu here was present here on 26th, on 27th. So basically it gives all the details, and also you can search by the name. As you can see, so that's it about the attendance of the students. So now fees. Here you can view the few fees which are due or which are paid or which are to be paid. So basically here I can select the mode to only view and update. So as you can see it auto completes the thing. So if I type in Joey and search, as you can see the Joey Triveni record is not found. So why is that? Because we haven't inserted fees detail for Joey so far, and for example I have inserted the record for Bhanu. So as you can see his fees details are visible here. So now let's add for Joey, or we can add for Eva. So basically select the category, like suppose Eva paid the amount. Let's search by, we can have many search options like roll number, phone number. So let's search by roll number. Let's see if it shows. Yes, it shows. So basically as you can see we can add the amount. Library by default we have set the fees as 18,000. So this is the paid date. Suppose she paid the library fee today itself. And how much amount she paid. So basically let's say she paid 12,000. So as you can see the due amount is 6,000. So if I add this record As you can see, the due amount is 6,000, paid amount is 12, total amount is 12,000, total amount is 18,000, and she paid 12,000. So we can similarly we can add other things. So as you can see, for sports is 10,000. So basically, suppose from 10,000 she paid all the 10,000 rupees. As you can see, the due amount is 0. Now for insertion we can add the same for Joey also. Suppose he paid full fees. As you can see, the record is added. So basically, this is the basic updation table. So you need not worry about the details above here, because each has an ID which recognizes each student. Suppose if I select only view and I write Joey. So basically, this is happening because we didn't save our table. So now as you can see, the table was saved, and that's why you couldn't find the record in there. So Joey basically paid full amount. Suppose it's lab fee. So basically Joey paid 20,000 rupees. The option is selected here is only view and update. That's why it was showing like that. So let's pay the fees of Joey Tilbiani for. So he paid the full fees. As you can see, I have now updated the records of both the students. As you can see, here is the list of Eva which she paid, and also you can see the records of Joey. You can basically see the whole record, but it will highlight the record which we recently deleted or manipulated. So as you can see, this was the basic fee structure. Now to register a teacher, so as you can see, I have only one teacher here, so let's add some teachers. So basically I'll add one teacher. Address, let's put New York. Phone number, email. Now experience, suppose he has 2 years of experience. So to upload an image, I'll select saved successfully. So as you can see, let's say add another name. So as you can see, it's saved successfully. So now to view any student or teacher record, just search by the name. As you can see, or you could search for by phone number or email address. So teachers can, as you can see, teachers also have their own attendance in the college. So basically, as an admin, I have right to mark them as present or absent. So as you can see, I can get a full list of teachers. Since I have marked as absent for Michael, and for Creed I have marked as present. Like that, I can also delete the record. So I'll save them for now. So now time scheduling is basically the timetable of teacher. So suppose Creed teaches for BCA course, and as we haven't added any subjects there, let's for example add a subject in BCA course. So subject name is suppose um, advanced learning and programming with Java. So we can add credits also. So I'll give 4 credits for Java subject as it has lab also. So I'll saved successfully. As you can see, for BCA advanced learning program with Java has been added. Like that, we can add multiple subjects for each course. For suppose I'll add another course for BCA itself. I can add IWP, Internet Web Programming. Also, let's add some for MCA course, IoT, 3 credits course, and machine learning. So now, as you can see, if I select Creed as semester, now as you can see, the subjects are visible of that course. So basically, suppose Creed teaches Java. He teaches on Monday. His shift is morning. Timing suppose is from 2 to 3 p.m. And how many period it would take? Suppose 2 periods. We have half an hour for each period. So added successfully. Now let's add for another teacher. From MCA, we'll add the subject as machine learning. So as you can see, the three projects are subjects are here. Program is C sharp, IoT, ML. So we can select program is C sharp. Friday shift as evening. Timing would be 4 to 5. And which period is it in the list for that day? Suppose fourth period. So as you can see, we have added successfully. Now if you want, we can add multiple subject for each teachers. So we'll just confirm record saved successfully. So we can see from here the attendance history of teachers. So if I type Creed was present on 4th. If I type Michael Scott, he was absent on 4th. And we can search the record by teacher's name. And here we can see the timetable. As you can see, Creed has the class of advanced learning program with Java on Monday morning shift time 2 to 3 am period second period, and for Michael 4 to 5 pm fourth period on Friday evening program with C sharp. Course is MCA, teacher's name. So that's basically it about the project. Here is the info: my name, my registration number, scope, my institute, my email ID, and as I told you, these are all data manipulation features which are basic, but main feature is data backup and restore system. So this is my server name, login password. We just need to choose which database we want. Basically our database is college, so we'll now save it into suppose C sharp folder itself. So that's it. If we take backup, we'll get all these records which we added now, and if suppose our system crashes or anything, basically we can access it through here. As you can see, here is the file created just now. As you can see the timing also 16:08, that's 4 p.m. So with any SQL Management Studio, you could just copy this file into backup and restore it. So basically you can restore it by here also, here this program also. As you can see the path is set for restoration. We can edit the database name, or we could just select the path. So basically C sharp, this file, database name, we can add any name for database, suppose college backup. So basically it will restore this database. So I won't restore it now as I don't want to wait for that, like it would load again and it would take time. So that's it about project. And as you can see, this was all by the admin view. So basically for user view it changes everything. For example, we created a user named John, and as you can see username John and the role is user. So basically as you can see the edit features is lock for John. He can just log off, change his password or exit from the system. He can't access this thing, he can just view these things like normally. He can view attendance, he can view fee structures, and that's it. But he can't manipulate anything, like he can't edit anything. So that's the view of user side. As you can see, he can't edit or manipulate any settings, he can just access and view this file. So that's all about the project. I hope you enjoyed the video. So now I'll just log out from the system, and to directly exit from the system I'll just click exit, or I can use these shortcut keys also. So basically I'll just exit from the system. So thank you guys for watching this video.